Hello and welcome back to Zephyr, your daily dose of amazing material. Today, we'll look at 20 psychological facts that will blow your mind. Before we begin, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so, and also click the notification bell to be notified anytime we upload new videos. Also, if you want to be successful and develop rich people habits, the rock-solid, time-tested counsel in this best-selling book has brought joy and prosperity to many people. To learn more, follow the first link in the description. Let's get started. 1. Contingency Plans. According to a 2016 University of Pennsylvania study, planning can sometimes backfire. Participants who developed a Plan A and a Plan B performed worse than those who did not prepare a backup. Why? Because having a backup plan raises the chances of failure. It's like ascending a ladder with a safety net attached to the bottom. Because you are not terrified of falling, you are less inclined to exert as much effort. Similarly, making a backup plan reduces your incentive to achieve your goals. 2. Compassionate yawns. In fact, yawning is a sign of empathy. When you yawn in response to someone else, you are reacting to and empathizing with their fatigue. The issue is that not everyone is capable of empathy. People who have neurological injury or psychological issues are less likely to yawn in reaction to another person's yawn. In other words, if you yawn when other people yawn, you are most likely an empath. 3. Overwhelming issues. We hear about catastrophes virtually every day, but according to a 2005 research, some disasters are more important than others. This study, which was also conducted at the University of Pennsylvania, invited individuals to donate to 2 different causes. The first assists a single person who is dying of hunger. The second assists millions of individuals who are dealing with the identical issue. Who do you believe the participants chose? Despite the fact that the latter affects more people, participants were more concerned with the solitary, starving person, and this is why people become overwhelmed by difficulties that appear to be insurmountable. It is impossible to feed 1 million people, but it is possible to feed 1 individual. For most people, this is reason enough to fight for the cause. 4. Word sequence. Your brain does not perceive the world as literally as you believe. It is designed to recognize patterns and take shortcuts to help you make sense of your surroundings. Language is an excellent example. Try reading this sentence. Although every word in this statement is misspelt, most individuals will be able to read the entire sentence. That's because your brain isn't concerned with each individual letter. Instead, it recognizes patterns in language to identify and change its meaning. 5. Psychological reaction. What happens when you are deprived of your liberty? In a 2015 study, researchers looked at a phenomenon known as reactance. When someone else limits your behavior, you are more likely to violate that restriction and contradict your behavior, all in the name of regaining your independence. To put it another way, humans frequently do the opposite of what they are told, even if it means contradicting their own convictions. 6. Assumed consumption. Have you ever envisioned yourself sitting down to eat a meal? According to a 2010 study published in the journal Science, your imagination has a major impact on the meals you crave. For example, if you frequently visualize yourself eating bowls of cereal, you are less likely to eat cereal than someone who does not. This is due to the fact that virtual eating satisfies your mental needs. Even if you didn't eat any real food, you can reduce your hunger by imagining yourself having a specific meal. 7. Misfortune to be expected. Nobody enjoys hardship, but the worst part isn't the misfortune itself. It's the unpredictability. Uncertainty is one of the most stressful things you can go through. Your brain makes predictions about what will happen next. It wants to know you're on the correct track, but when you're not sure, it causes tension. Most individuals would rather suffer tragedy than sit around wondering how things would end out. Even if the outcome is negative, you will know what to expect. 8. Bias against negativity. There are both good and bad things in the world, but they do not bear the same weight. Humans have an inherent tendency to be pessimistic. Although this is not an exact science, experts believe that it takes 5 positive experiences to counteract a single negative encounter in your life. So try to fill your life with as much positivity as possible. One negative deed causes far more harm than you realize. 9. Adorable aggression. Have you ever said to yourself, "It's so cute, I just want to squeeze it"? Or perhaps you exclaimed, "That puppy is so cute I could eat him straight up." Why do we squeeze, crush, and consume objects we find adorable? This seemingly paradoxical statement is in fact a well-studied neuronal combination. When you are overwhelmed by happy feelings, your brain manufactures negative emotions to bring you back into balance. The end outcome is a strange mingling of joyful celebration and irrational hostility. In other words, you see something so adorable that you want to smother it in your arms. 10. Guessing a second time. Have you ever experienced a similar experience? You have a viewpoint that you strongly believe is correct, but others disagree. Do you stick to your convictions, or do you go along with the crowd? Most people are willing to give up their opinions in order to join the majority. They'll give responses they know are incorrect just to fit in. If you've ever puzzled how seemingly nonsensical ideas can attract thousands of followers, this frequent psychological phenomena could be to blame. 11. Memory Geons. How can you distinguish amongst the millions of objects in your environment? The human brain remembers 24 fundamental forms known as Geons, which your brain assembles to distinguish various objects. Let's play with 2 popular geometries, the cylinder and the cone. What happens when a cone is stacked on top of a cylinder? It no longer appears to be 2 distinct shapes. Instead, you identify the thing as a lamp. What if a cylinder is stacked on top of a cone? Suddenly, it appears to be something quite else, such as a beaker in a laboratory. Similarly, your brain can recognize millions of distinct and complex objects using only a few simple shapes. 12. Anger is rewarded. Do you know somebody who enjoys mocking others? Some people enjoy picking on others because they believe that rage is the most satisfying emotion. You could hear someone claim, "I just want to get people's reactions," yet this peculiar phenomenon is entirely neurological. According to a 2007 study, those with high testosterone levels enjoy a psychological boost when others become angry. 13. Vibrant connections. Do you identify certain colors with certain symbols or emotions? Red, for example, may indicate anger or rage, but blue is calm and quiet. Almost everyone has an association with each color, but those associations differ depending on where you are in the world. Many colors have important cultural and historical links, therefore, don't be shocked if someone else perceives color very differently. 14. Constructional indicators. Psychological cues are used in the design of objects. A doorknob's size and form, for example, urges your brain to grab and turn it. The same is true for mugs, buttons, and novels, which all provide your brain with sophisticated, constructional hints. But what happens when such cues aren't correct? Perhaps you push a door when you should draw it. Perhaps the windows of a store appear open even while the store inside is closed. When you come across a discordant combination of clues, your brain cannot but boil. 15. Ignoring the obvious. Have you ever overlooked anything right in front of you? When you're looking for anything, your brain's field of view narrows. It looks so hard for a specific object that it overlooks the most obvious outliers. You could roll your eyes when someone shows you what you missed, thinking, "How did I miss that?" Unfortunately, your brain isn't always attentive. Thank you for watching Zephyr, and please subscribe if you want to see more fantastic material in the future. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next one.